Hey everyone, my name is Ryan and I am a man with lupus. In today's video I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of medications that I was recently prescribed to, one of them being prednisone, the other one being the main topic of this video, hydroxychloroquine. If you're new to systemic lupus, if you've just received a diagnosis, these are usually the medications you're going to be given. So I wanted to talk a little bit about those in today's video. Let's get to it. In today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of medications. The prednisone we'll talk about a little bit later because that's not really the main focus of this video. However, I did want to touch base on it. The main focus of today's video is this medication. This is hydroxychloroquine, also known as Plaquenil. This is a DMARD. This is a disease-modifying anti-rheumatic agent. In the old days, this was an anti-malarial agent, and back before there was hydroxychloroquine, there was a product called chloroquine. Chloroquine essentially had the same uses, the same ideas behind it. However, there were some known side effects that seemed to be a little bit too dangerous, and so I believe it was the FDA. They came back and they made some changes, and they came out with what we now know as hydroxychloroquine, which is a very safe medication. It is technically an anti-malarial, but what it does for people who have lupus is it severely decreases the mortality rate of systemic lupus. As far as recently as 40 years ago or so, the outcome of a lupus diagnosis was really terrifying. It was something along the lines of only like 10 or 20% of people survived 5 years past their diagnosis. It was a very bad prognosis if you were to find out you had systemic lupus erythematosus. Now, in today's world, we now know that some of the big issues with SLE are the fact that your internal organs are being damaged, and that is specifically what hydroxychloroquine does for those of us who have lupus. It decreases the mortality, especially from lupus nephritis, which is one of the most common and most dangerous situations you could find yourself in with lupus. Hydroxychloroquine works by inhibiting the processing effects of peptide antigens and their assembly into major histocompatibility complexes by antigen-presenting cells. Normally, when peptides process, they will activate T cells, and the T cells will then adapt an immune response within your body, including antibody production to that antigen. So as you can imagine, somebody who has systemic lupus, we're trying to keep our bodies from flaring up. We're trying to keep our body from having these inappropriate responses and then acting as though our own cells are bad and attacking them. So we're trying to keep our lupus at bay. We're trying to keep everything settled down, calm, easy, no flares, no jumps, no excitement, no stress. We don't want any of those things. We want very calm, steady, reduced immune system. Hydroxychloroquine inhibits the formation of autoantibodies, among other things, thus reducing your immune system. It is safe to use during pregnancy. So if you are a lupus patient and you are pregnant, this is a medication that will typically be considered safe. Some of the side effects, there are basically one major issue with hydroxychloroquine is that you need to start seeing the eye doctor and seeing them regularly, because if you don't, you could end up with some eye damage, and that is a side effect of hydroxychloroquine. That being said, there are a few other rare complicated side effects which I urge you to talk to your doctor about. I am not a doctor, I'm just a patient, but aside from those real rare issues, you're going to run into your normal nausea, dizziness, you don't feel good, those types of things for a few days until your body gets used to taking the medication. For me personally, I had no issues whatsoever taking the hydroxychloroquine. I've noticed nothing positive or negative since taking it, but I do know that being a white man with lupus, some of my issues are a little higher risk. We tend to see more lupus nephritis come out of this. Some of the more serious aspects of lupus tend to happen if you're in a demographic that is much less affected. It seems to be more harsh, and so this is something I definitely am going to stick with. Now, for me personally, they gave me prednisone. Prednisone is something that I have always severely struggled with. Any of these like corticosteroids, anything that you take over the counter, they just always cause me really serious issues with my mental health. So far, I was taking these for about a week, and I was already down to only sleeping an hour or two a night. I was starting to have some paranoia, some worry, anxiety, all of these things that, once again, are not very good for lupus. And so for me personally, I see the prednisone as counterproductive, but it's something that I'm going to need to talk to my doctor about. So, in today's video, I didn't necessarily need to bring a ton of information to you, but I did want to talk a little bit about the main medication that you will run into, which is hydroxychloroquine. Like I said, old medication. It used to be chloroquine. It was a little more dangerous then, but it has been enhanced. And essentially what this does is keeps your body from flaring up. It keeps your responses inside of your body from overreacting. It just keeps your immune system down, slow, and at bay, which is huge for those of us who have lupus. So guys, if you're enjoying any of the content here, please hit that subscribe button down below. Jump in the comments section. Let me know who you are, what you've got going on. If there's any topics you'd like me to research and cover, I would be more than happy to do so. But for now, I don't have anything else for you. I just hope you guys stay safe. Once again, my name is Ryan. I am a man with lupus, and I will see you in the next video.